Record better audio anywhere with Motive digital microphones from Shure. Easy-to-use options like the MV88 plug directly into your phone or computer and include a free app. Create studio-quality sound for podcasts, music, and videos. Visit Shure.com to learn more.
Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome back to Lowdown Radio, again, only on Unlimited Radio 247.net, as well as GFL.TV. And ladies and gentlemen, the world of professional wrestling is going to take a break this evening because we are going to have stars from the hit TV show from A&E, Storage Wars, Dan and Laura Dotson. Going to be having them on our show this evening, and we're going to be talking about the world of storage unit hunting and all the awesome things that people have purchased in their time, and a little bit about the history of storage hunting and how far back it goes. And we're going to be talking to obviously two of the most popular auctioneers to be gracing our television sets each and every night. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we are going to do is we are going to take a very quick break, and when we come back, we are going to have Dan and Laura Dotson from the hit TV show Storage Wars live on Lowdown Radio.
For all your hair cutting and shaving needs, contact Bada Bing Barber Shop, located at 6446 Paramount Boulevard, Long Beach, California, 90805. Some of their services include shampoos, regular cuts, fades, lineup, and full-service shaves. To make an appointment, call Tony at 562-984-2233 and let him know Lowdown Radio sent you for a very exclusive discount.
Everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man, and if you want to get your money's worth, you listen to Unlimited Radio.
Welcome back to Lowdown Radio, and again on Unlimited Radio 247.net. And please help us welcome Dan and Laura Dotson from the hit TV show Storage Wars. How are you guys doing this evening?
Woo, that's right. Hey, Dan and Laura Dotson are in the house.
Yeah, we're doing great, Shawn. Thanks for having us on your show. We're a big fan. How's it going for you guys? Are you ready?
Oh, man, we're rocking and rolling, living the dream tonight. I'll tell you what, I can't get enough of that show, and, it's so trippy watching that show, and I'm thinking, I can't watch it enough. I have it sitting in my T-bone. My T-bone's blown up with all your shows, and I can't stop, seeing how much Dave Hester is going to piss off everyone, and how much Barry's not going to really get much, and it's an absolute honor to have both of you folks on our show this evening. So thank you very much for taking time out for us.
Well, we thank you, and it sounds like you've got the auction fever, baby, and there is no cure.
Well, this show is obviously geared towards professional wrestling mostly, but a lot of our listeners wanted to hear directly from you guys. And, of course, my loyal listeners, if you want to call in and speak to Dan and Laura, go ahead and call us at 213-559-8054. Just make sure you press 1, let me know you want to come in, and we'll make sure we get you on the air. So, guys, with A&E, how did the whole Storage Wars show come into play, and how did this whole thing start?
I've been an auctioneer for a long time, almost 38 years. My grandfather and mom were auctioneers, and 16 years ago, Laura and I, we tied up, and she just, back in 08 and 09, she just started taking a video camera into our auctions, and we just started kind of filming our sales. We've got a YouTube site at the Auction Guy Dan. We've probably got 20 or 25 hours of video content up there, and you can kind of see how the auction, the show Storage Wars, progressed from that. We were lucky enough that ABC and NBC and KCT all picked up a thrift economy story within a 45-day period of time back in 09, and they wanted to feature our auction company as the auctioneers, and they said, can we do that, and can we come and film tomorrow? And I said, absolutely, you can come and film tomorrow. And ABC showed up with a van and their big dish on the top, and they just showed up to film. The manager freaked out, picked up the phone to call their owner. I just gently set it right back down and assured her it wasn't going to be a problem. We were looking out for the best for the company in this industry, and we weren't going to do anything that would hurt anybody. But, it is news, and that's kind of how it happened. We had 27 production companies contact us in 18 months. The first production company, they really didn't have very good vision, and we went through them with 6 months. Then we had another 6-month company that we went through, and one day we were so frustrated with all these people coming at us. Laura absolutely prayed out loud, God, please send us a Tom Beers. I had no idea who Tom Beers was. I asked her, I said, who's Tom Beers? She goes, well, that's Deadliest Catch. That's Ice Shore Truckers. That's Axemen. And those are the shows that I watch. And I thought, well, what a great prayer to do. 3 weeks later, this is no kidding, a guy comes to my auction and he says, have you ever thought about doing a reality show? And I looked at him kind of cocky and I said, yeah, you're number 16, baby. What's your name? It was Tom Beers. He handed me his card and I said, you, my friend, my wife prayed to God you'd come around, and you are the guru, and you can turn this stuff into gold. And if you're patient, we just have a few weeks left on our contract, and we want to rock with you. And he says, I'm very patient. And I said, well, everybody in the industry is a liar, right? And he looks at me and cocks his head and he goes, well, I'm not a liar. And I said to him, I said, well, we're going to get along fine. And that's kind of how it all came to be. Tom Beers is a master craftsman when it comes to spinning stories and finding, the human characters and people that blend well together, and he's certainly done it in Storage Wars. It's certainly about the stuff that you find, but it's also a character-driven show.
That's right. These buyers have been around our business for quite some time. Danny's known Dave Hester 25 years. I've known him 16. I've known Daryl 16 years, and Jared and Brandy about 4 or 5. And absolutely, when we were putting this together, we were doing little mini videotapes on everyone, and we kind of saw the chemistry. So when this all came about, we brought all the names and the buyers that we thought would be great for the show, and they were chosen. And it's just a really great stew. There's enough salt and pepper, enough meat in there that it absolutely is fun to eat, and you don't mind watching it every day or eating it every night. One thing we have noticed from the show is that it absolutely is bringing families together, and we find a lot of people saying, little Mary would go up to her room after, dinner or something like that and not even want to hang out with us, and now family is very important. They're all getting around the television, watching TV, and it's brought some type of a fun family pastime to television, and auctions are the way to go. I'm telling you, we got more auction buyers, more people out there checking out what's going on because of all this great light on the industry. And, children are coming up to us and wanting to be an auctioneer someday or be a professional buyer and learning how to pick something, know what it's worth, and evaluate it. And it's really just been a dream for us. When Danny had said to me, Laura, I had, 30 years of auction tapes. He started when he was 11, so almost 30 years of that. He says to me, and I had lots of tapes, and everything got tossed out, my VHS tapes. And I went on his birthday, and I bought this little 3-chip camera and started videotaping them. And just like Danny said, it's the next thing is history with all these YouTubes that have come out there. And I don't see any end in sight. How about you? You enjoying the show?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's funny you mentioned bringing family together. My mom, she actually has cancer, and I'll be honest with you, your show is what we watch. And it's definitely brought us a lot closer together, and we're spending a lot of quality time together watching your show. She absolutely loves Barry. Thinks he's absolutely loves him. He's a cool cat. She says, I just wish he would get a great unit one of these times.
Yeah.
Barry is a great, unique individual. He was the only guy that Laura and I didn't introduce to the show.
Yeah.
He's actually Jesse James's Jewish godfather, and Tom Beers met him on the set of Munster Garage.
Yeah.
And I think when he met him, he thought, just like you and I, this is a very unique, funny man. And I have traveled, and Laura has, to New York and Phoenix and different places with Barry, and on or off camera, Barry is one of the funniest guys I've ever met in my life. And, a lot of people, we live day by day. That's not Barry. He lives second by second. If it goes in his head, it'll pop right out his mouth. And, they have to kind of tone him down a little bit for A&E. But, he's just really fun to be around. He's 62 years old. I'm 49 years old, and I have trouble keeping up with him because he just goes, man.
Fireball.
He's wide open.
Yeah, it's a great, great day when we get to have fun at auction and feel like you're not working. So we just really enjoy it.
Well, I don't know. She might not think it's like work, but it seems pretty draining to me.
Well, talking as fast as you guys do, on the show, for some people it's really hard to understand. Me personally and professionally, I actually work for an auction company. I work for auction.com, and we sell foreclosed homes. And
wow.
We actually sell the foreclosed homes. We sell the commercial real estate and things like that. So I'm very familiar with the auction business. I've worked with them for the last 6 years, and it's a phenomenal business. And I've seen it just blossom into this huge, huge deal. And again, seeing your show and seeing how everything's progressed, it's just been unbelievable for you guys.
Just a few weeks ago, we got to go to Spokane, Washington, and speak with the National Auctioneers Association, and they gave us 55 minutes to speak, and Laura and we spoke for an hour and 25 minutes. But one of the major things, besides bringing all the families together, I told them, I said, look, there hasn't been good positive light on this auction industry for 30 years since Leroy Van Dyke come out with the Auctioneer song. I said, now we've got kids by the millions watching these auction shows. They know that it can happen, and they can be confident, and they can be fun. And I said, in 10 or 12 or 15 years, the people at your auctions are going to be influenced by these shows. We have to make it positive, and we have to keep grinding on that to show that this is a great industry. If somebody wants to sell their estate or their business, instead of putting prices on it and liquidating it out or having an estate sale, auctions are a great way to go. And if we can do that at the end of the day, we're really happy with ourselves.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, if you wanted to call and speak to Dan and Laura this evening, call us at area code 213-559-8054. And, guys, we do have a caller waiting online here to speak to you. Is that okay if we take a quick caller?
Yes. Bring it on.
Awesome. Okay, and I do recognize this number, area code 562-986. Caller, you're live with Dan and Laura Dotson.
Hey, guys.
Hey, how's it going, man? How you doing? What's your name?
My name's Ken. I'm in Signal Hill.
Yeah, we're almost neighbors, Ken.
Yeah, I hope so. Hey, I wanted to know if Dave is an asshole off camera, or does he just portray himself to be that on TV?
That is the first question that I get, regardless of what state I'm in. Is Dave Hester as big as an a-hole as he acts like? And I can tell you, I've known Dave for 25 years, and the answer would be yes. Dave can be kind of an ass, but he's truly a good guy. When you take him out of the auction arena, he's a regular guy. I've done a lot of business with him. He's never burned me out of a nickel. He's always been very honorable in what he says, but he's definitely made my life kind of impossible, especially in my 20s and early 30s as being an auctioneer. Yeah, he's kind of an ass, but I really do like him, and I have a lot of respect and love for Dave.
I watch the show almost not every week, but when I do catch it, that guy just gets on my nerves with that. Yep.
Yeah.
He gets on my nerves with that real bad, and I just want to turn it off.
I feel for it. I was the same thing. And, when I catch bids, I'm yelling, yep. And he's looking at me going, yep. And I'm thinking, are you bidding or what are you doing? Are you making fun of me? And he's bidding. He's serious. He wants to be heard. And now I just see dollar signs and he yells that yep out there. So
that yep originally come from folks that were helping auctioneers on the floor as a ring man or a bid catcher. And, if an auctioneer's got 500, 600, 700 people, he might have 1 or 2 or 3 bid catchers down on the floor. And when they catch a bid, they'll bring it in as a big yup. And, Dave been an auctioneer himself, and he's been a ringman for a long time, and that's just his style of doing stuff. He doesn't only do it to get your attention. He does it to get under the skin and the nerves of the other bidders, and he kind of thinks that if he can get you off your game, he can improve his own, and that's kind of where that came from.
Okay, guys, thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching, man. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for the call.
No problem. Okay.
And don't forget to pay the lady.
you got to throw that one in, Laura.
You know it, baby.
Yeah, we have to pay the lady every day, and if you don't pay her one way, you got to pay her the other. So, that's about this pay the lady thing. Laura, I used to just say, yeah, pay the blonde, and she would always say, well, pay the lady, because she didn't want me calling her like a blonde,
Go see the blonde.
like it was kind of degrading or whatever, and it just really stuck. And I'm really proud of Laura. She's brought a lot of independence and power to women all over the planet, and it just shows that a woman can go in and do a man's job. I mean, women are just as capable as men of doing anything. So she's influenced a lot of young women and older women, and and just taught them that they can get up and get out and have a good positive outlook at stuff. And paying the ladies not just the money at the end and consummating the deal, but it's just a full round circle thing where women do have power in this world, and everybody's got to pay the lady, and that's kind of I'm pretty proud of her about that.
Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, I totally agree. Laura, my fiance, she watches the show a lot too, and she has commented a little bit about you as well, and she sees a lot of confidence in you when you're up there. And I remember an episode where, Dan, you were not feeling well, and Laura filled in for you, and you were standing right there, and you were doing it just as good, if not better, than Dan.
Oh, thank you.
Watch your tongue, Shawn. Watch your tongue, Shawn.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not off the show or anything.
Oh, no. He doesn't like the competition too well. It's like saying, baby, let's go for a motorcycle ride, and I want you to jump on the back.
Well, I don't like jumping on the back, Shawn. No, actually, I'm so proud of Laura, and she did have a good teacher, and that would be me.
Yeah.
And, I couldn't be prouder of her. Sometimes it comes out on the show like I don't want her to sell, but that's not the truth. I'm very proud when she gets out there and does her thing.
Yeah. We have a full-fledged auction company, American Auctioneers, and we have been doing this for, Danny, since 83, auctioning since 74, and we have got so many auctions listed. So if you want to get out there and hit an auction, just go to our website, and you can start buying stuff tomorrow, or storagetreasures.com. If you're not in just California, you can go nationwide. Go ahead, check it out. Get $100. You can start hitting an auction within an hour or 2 hours or the next day. And, we noticed that this is also the ultimate green. We see big recycling with all of these items that are, being bought and resold, and it's taking people that might have lost their chance or hope or dream or, for instance, because of this economy, and it's turning them around, and people are paying their rent, and we're seeing stuff in and out of the economy that, wouldn't be in a landfill. So we just think it's a win-win.
Laura and I are pretty positive about, what we do. And, people in the past have said, how can you be so happy? You're selling somebody's stuff. Well, I feel bad for somebody that's lost their stuff, and that can happen for so many different reasons. But I do know that every time you sell a big old unit, one family suffers, but 10 other families probably gain and benefit from it. If you have somebody out there and they can't afford a $125 vacuum, maybe they can afford a $25 vacuum. If they need a ladder, maybe they can't afford an $80 ladder, but they can afford a $25 or $30 ladder. So, it just kind of helps everybody. Like Laura said, it's the ultimate in recycling. This storage game is for sure.
Not to mention this modern-day treasure hunt. Everybody wants to find the big find. It's this quest, like for digging for gold or, doing something like, for oil or something like that. So this has actually put a really neat spin on a modern-day treasure hunt. You might find something.
Absolutely, and that brings me to another thing else also, looking on YouTube and seeing all the different videos. And I remember I'm not sure how recent it was, but I remember somebody finding $500,000 in pirate gold in the locker, and I believe they spent $600 on one unit and $1,100 on the other, and they walked away with over $500,000 in pirate treasure.
That's absolutely true. It took 3 people to load that tote from the unit to the truck, and And it was just absolutely life-changing for this fella. And there were 2 units, and the one that had the the pieces of 8 and the gold bullion in it was an $1,100 unit. So it can certainly happen. You couldn't really see it from the door, though. I mean, you look at the unit, and it just kind of looked like an average unit, but you just never know. A lot of people, they have to keep in mind that you're making your money on your $10, $20, $50, $100 items. That's how you make your money in this business. And if you can double or triple your money, then you can go back to the auctions the next day, and you can do that day in and day out. Eventually, you're going to find something that's going to be great. I mean, Laura and I have sold everything you could even imagine has come in out of storage sales. I mean, everything from, $15,000 worth of white jade tables to Madonna's notebooks that sold for $400,000 to Sting stuff. We've had Jack Kevorkian stuff, Alberto Vargas. Just so many different things have ended up in storage. I mean, anything that you can imagine in your brain could have been or will be one day in storage. And if it doesn't get paid for whatever reason, and that could be somebody dies, they get a divorce, a third party was in charge of paying that and they failed to do it.
The credit card canceled. A
third party puts stuff on top of the storage unit and it just doesn't get paid, and then it ends up right back into the mix. Recently, I heard of a painting worth millions of dollars that just sold for $11. That was just last week. So it does happen all the time, and I think it's our job to just keep our head on a swivel, like the redneck picker says, and look at every opportunity. And if somebody wants to play this game, they should get into it. But diversification is absolutely the key. You don't only want to buy self-storages. You want to look at estate sales. You want to look at yard sales. You want to go to moving and storage sales. You want to figure out every way in the world to buy stuff, because a good unit buyer starts off to be a good picker. That means you buy an item for $1 and you sell it for $3. You buy an item for $100, you sell it for $200. That's the basic building blocks of this business.
And education is key. A lot of people think, okay, now what do I do with this stuff? I've got all this, and what do I do? Get up online, look at eBay past sales, look at Craigslist and things. Also, you might have, for instance, from our show, we give lots of tips and people at different companies that you can take your stuff to and get it appraised. And, this is a way that people can turn that money and those items quickly into cash.
And not only being diversified in the way you buy, but be diversified, like Laura says, in the way you sell. Maybe you have some vintage watches. That might be a really good eBay item. Maybe you have a freezer. That's a local item that would probably do best on Craigslist. Maybe you buy a unit full of furniture and you don't want to jack with it. You might go down there and find your local thrift store or furniture store and find and develop somebody that will wholesale that stuff out for you. Where you don't. The key is to move this stuff and to create a machine to get rid of it. That's the secret with this business.
Yeah, cold, hard cash, baby.
Absolutely. So, another one of the characters on the show, Daryl Sheets. Now, Daryl, I remember some of the earlier episodes. He brought his son with him, and then all of a sudden his son kind of did his own little thing. Are they still kind of doing different things away from each other, and they kind of got their own gig going on?
Got to be careful about how we talk about the show developing and stuff. I can tell you that it did seem like Daryl was really trying to kick young Brandon out of the nest, try to build his own beefy legs so he can make a business, living doing this business. I would like to see those two get along better than what I have seen them in the past shows, because Daryl is absolutely a family man. He loves his family more than the TV show shows. So hopefully we'll see them develop a better relationship than what they had before, and they'll be working together, but I can't really say.
Okay, fair enough. And for those of the listeners tonight that are listening to the show and would like to start in the storage business, what kind of words of advice can you give them, other than obviously, doing your homework and things like that? But can you give anybody a little bit of tips on what to maybe look for in a storage unit?
Absolutely. I would say that the first thing that somebody should do is go look at 40 or 50 of these doors open. When the door opens, take a look at it. You just have a few seconds. You need to kind of judge what you don't see by what you do see. So if you see quality in the front end, and let's say you think it might be worth $500 retail, then most likely there's going to be $500 worth of retail in the stuff you don't see. So if that adds up to $1,000, $300, $400, $500 might be a good bid for that. If it's really shiny, you might want to, guess a little bit more. After 40 or 50 of these doors open, if you guess what you think that the auctioneer is going to get for it, then find out what it brings. You will absolutely fine-tune yourself after several dozen of these, and you'll be a lot more well-prepared to buy.
He's right. You should be prepared the night before for that auction. Where the auction is, how many units are for sale? It's a cash-only sale. Do you have a lock, and do you have a way to move it? And can you rent that unit from the facility if you can't get, it out in 24 hours? Also, like Danny says, there's a proper way to evaluate a unit. Get in there and do your homework prior. Go see 50 units or something before you actually, commit to buying one. This way, you'll have an idea. You'll look at that unit and say, I wouldn't spend more than $200 or $300 on this, and then see what it sells for. So you have
an idea.
If it
brings $500 or $600, maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong, maybe you missed something. If you think something should bring $500 or $600 and it brings $100 or $200, maybe there's an item in there that you thought there was value on, but there's really not.
And that will teach you how to bid like a pro. And I'm telling you, with that confidence, it'll make sure you have a flashlight.
We have an auction website at AmericanAuctioneers.com. Anybody on the West Coast can go see us. We do 5 or 10 auctions every day. Laura and I also co-founded the StorageTreasures.com.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many message boards and forums in there. We're putting out an educational piece right now that'll be available in about a month. Anybody that's interested in that, it's free to sign up, and they can absolutely go through there and get totally prepared.
Absolutely.
Ask questions. That's probably the biggest thing. When you go to a sale, ask the manager, what do they know about the units? How big are they? Inside or are they outside units?
How long has it been there?
And if you see one that looks really shiny and nice and the people just dropped it and they never paid another bill on it, they brought it in on a special, it looks like it's worth thousands of bucks, maybe that's one you should very well be aware of because, there's a lot of scams out there. Be aware of.
Mm-hmm.
Beware of. Be aware. Beware. Yes. Beware. Be aware.
Beware of
those
units
that just
too good.
If they're too good to be true, and they just brought them in and they didn't pay for them for months or years, then maybe you don't want to chance your money on that.
Because what happens here? Let's say that unit was just boxes taped up or something, and they came in on a special and they got paid $1 rent and got 1 month free. Well, what happens is that unit sells for a few thousand, and then the overages goes back to the person, that lost the unit, and it turns out that the buyer then says, oh, my gosh, this is a set-up unit. Every box was empty.
And it's happened, it's happened a few times the last 6 or 8 months, and, that we know about. So now our auctioneers and our lock cutters, we do a lock cutting service about 3 weeks before that sale, and our guys will go in with a video camera on a tripod. We always have 2 sets of eyeballs. That means the manager goes with them. We never open a unit unless there's 2 sets of eyeballs. The camera's always running. We never go inside of a unit unless there's guns or a drug lab or an automobile that we need to do a lien on. If it's anything other than that, we never go inside of a unit. We do it the same way, we inventory it the same way that we sell it from the door. So, just asking lots of questions is probably the best advice that we can give. And remember, the most important thing is if the money's in your pocket, it's not spent until you pull it out. Once it's pulled out and spent, now your work has started. You need to figure out if your machine for selling the stuff is going to work, and that's when the true challenges start after the bid. So don't be afraid to go to a lot of auctions and just take a look and see what's out there. And if maybe self-storages aren't your game, maybe you want to do something else. Maybe you have got some type of an engineering background and specialty equipment or is your thing. There are people buying and selling stuff all over the world, and people just need to think outside the box to make money in this economy. That's one thing that I was so proud about Storage Wars about, because people actually can get off the couch, they can go out there, and if they're not going to buy storage units, maybe they do something else with their life. So I truly believe that the show has stimulated the economy, and it's stimulated the American people, and it's brought families together, and just so many good positive things have come from Storage Wars. Yeah. We couldn't be happier.
That's right.
Absolutely. And I wish I can get tomorrow off, but I actually see you actually have a storage sale right in my city tomorrow. So
well,
it's a shame.
There's a bug going around, I heard. And, it's kind of a thing. And, there you go. You're starting now. Now, we do sales for the weekends also. We do self-storages Monday through Friday. Then we do estate sales and moving and storage and all types of other sales on the weekends. So, we're busy all the time.
Awesome. Yeah. I see that A1 self-storage tomorrow in Paramount. That was the one I was actually looking for. That's where I'm located.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great facility.
Beautiful
out there.
facility.
And again, you know, A1 Self Storage. All of our customers, nobody wants to sell anybody's stuff. That's the biggest thing. The last resort. They've made phone calls. They've done postings, publications. They've looked for alternate addresses on contracts. They don't want to sell anybody's stuff. It's absolutely a last resort for them, and I think that's very important to the self storage industry, that the public knows that they don't want to sell anybody's stuff. That's not their game. To sell it, their game is to store stuff. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Auctions every day. You know, if you don't know of any auction company other than, you know, American Auctioneers, you can go check your local paper and check out auctions in there, and just attend and have a good time. It's a fun place for the family and, you know, for first dates. That's how Danny and I met, actually, at auction.
Yeah. We met at an auction.
I said I do, and I
How cute is that? That's really adorable. So you guys actually met at an auction you were bidding on, or?
Yeah. You know, I was actually selling restaurant equipment with some friends of mine, the Weiler Group out in L.A. They sell restaurant equipment. I worked with them for about 15 years. Laura shows up one day in 1993, hangs out for an hour or two, and I'm flirting and I'm blasting on her. Then she waves goodbye and leaves. That's true. 1 year went by, Shawn. She shows up at another sale a year later. Same thing. I'm flirting with her. I'm trying to blast on her, trying to get her attention. She waves goodbye. She leaves for 1 full year. The third year she comes back, and I just went up to her and I said, man, if you weren't attached, I'd snatch you up. And she gave me her phone number and said, I'm not. And our second date, she moved in and never left. And that was 16 years ago.
There you
True
go.
Story.
I got the fever.
So, you know, in life, if you want something, you have to be tenacious. You know, and I'm very tenacious when I want something. So.
Absolutely. I'm glad he was. Yes.
How adorable is that? That's phenomenal. Congratulations, both of you. That's absolutely unbelievable. Meeting at a auction. I mean, that's really cool. And now, Laura, you are also an auctioneer as well, correct?
Yes, I am. You know, let me tell you, Danny had gotten his wisdom teeth pulled, and this was in 1997, and I had been clerking for him, you know, probably for about a year or so. And, you know, he talks really fast. He'd be doing his sales that would have like 400 or 500 items and lots, and he wouldn't even take a breath in between. So I was clerking, and he says, it's Thursday. I'm going to get my wisdom teeth pulled tomorrow. I should be just fine. I've got 17 auctions lined up starting on Monday, and we'll be fine. Well, the weekend's come, and he's had his teeth pulled. He's got a horrible infection. He looks at me Sunday night and says, I have 17 auctions lined up, and you're going to do them. I said, no, I am not.
I said, you can do it, babe.
I said, I am so afraid. There's no way I can. Well, you know, Danny comes from a long line of auctioneers, third-generation auctioneers, so I just hightailed it over to his mother's house, and I said, well, guess what? Danny's not doing better, and you've got auctions all this week. And she says, no, I don't. You do. You're his wife. You're going to do it. She says to me, Laura, you like to talk. You got the gift of gab, and you can sell things. Just talk yourself through it, walk your way through it, and you don't have to go fast. And those have been words that I actually live by. It has got me so much confidence to get out there and do it. I took Danny to the auction with me. I looked at him, and I see sitting in the audience, and I said, you know, I was doing a Dotson Limited. I said to him, what do I get for this decoy? He goes, it's about $125 to $250. Well, I was so excited, $450. I said, I got a rifle, and he goes, that's a shotgun. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, I got to do my homework. You can't just really go out there and become an auctioneer. But I had the best teacher and so much on-site training that I was able to look at these items and know the value of these items and what they were and do better. And, you know, the rest is history. I really enjoy it. I love, making money, and I like being a great contributor. And I don't see any end in sight for this little fun show or the auction business.
Yeah, I certainly hope not. You know, the Storage Wars show is absolutely awesome. Brandy and Jared, you know, those lovebirds as well. You know, they're awesome too. And you know, Brandy can't stand Jared sometimes, and Jared can't stand Brandy sometimes. And
it's true. Oh yeah, we all feel it. We know when they're getting along, for the day, or if Brandy's going to give Jared his masculinity back. It's a fun day at auction.
I think you're right. I think they both give each other plenty of that, and they have great dynamics between themselves.
Yeah.
And we're really lucky that they're on the show, and that Jared and Brandy, they are professional buyers, and they are making it, and there's some great surprises in store for Storage Wars fans coming up with those two for sure.
Yeah, they're a classic couple right there that, believe it or not, when they started, Jared says, I'm buying this stuff. Brandy is so pissed off at me. I've got the living room, our apartment at the time, full to the ceiling with stuff, and I'm trying to sell it at yard sale and eBaying it, and she's about ready to give up. She would come down to the auction and say, Jared, I am sick of it today. If you buy any of these units, and she'd look at them, when we're going through and tell him no, and you could only spend $100, and he was spending money, and he was always the guy that would just get in there. And if he wanted something, he's going for it, and he would do it.
He's absolutely a scrapper for sure.
And
they're all scrappers.
I said to him, you know what? You need to take this to the next level. We've got this idea with this show, and we're working along with Tom Beers, and we think you'd be fantastic for this. They said, we want a young gun. And, boy, Danny and I, on our list, both put Jared. And sure enough, he went out, saved his money. He got a box truck. He got himself a little place. And I'm telling you, he is a success story with Brandy that absolutely can show the American couple that is struggling. You can do it. Get out there and do it. And they're making money. And I don't think that they're going to have to worry about where the next, nickel's coming, because they've absolutely got a machine now turning at their place now and then. And it's I think it's changed their lives. So they're a good success story for other couples and people and things like that.
Very motivating for folks, for sure.
Yeah.
It seems like they don't pull the wagon together, but they do. And you get a couple, a man and a wife, a husband and a wife, pulling the wagon in the same direction. You'd be amazed at what you can pull off and do. I mean, Laura and I have we've created a lot in 16 years, and we just constantly keep pulling the wagon the same direction. And
together, yes, in unison, and it's really important. Husband and wives can work together. And, like Danny and I have auctions going on all day long. We used to, before the show, do our auctions separately because we were just running 250 miles each a day. We're very busy, and our business is actually, about tripled. And so is our employees. We have 20 now. Someday American Auctioneers will have 200. And the nice thing about the show is that Danny and I are working together now. We're driving together, and we're saving all that extra miles, and we're building a great business.
You bet. We're in Reno. We're in Vegas. We're in Southern California. We just got back from South Carolina yesterday. We're going to be going to Texas, and we just, there's just no end in sight for us. Regardless of what happens with Storage Wars, Dan and Laura are upward and onward, baby, and we're just trying to work it all out.
There you go. I mean, I can't imagine what you guys go through, especially, I'm sure, with this show. I'm sure things have really taken off for you folks. And, again, thank you so much for tonight. Our listeners and myself really appreciate it. And before I let you go this evening, where can your fans find you guys on the social media sites? What is your website?
Well, they can catch us on Facebook at American Auctioneers, Dan and Laura Dotson. Our Twitter feeds are Pay the Lady Laura and Auction Guy Dan. And come and check us out at AmericanAuctioneers.com. All the social media links are there. If you want to check out anything on a national level, StorageTreasures.com is great. And there's so many good educational videos and pieces coming out. That's what I would suggest people do. We appreciate you guys watching the show. And when I go 50, 60, 70, we're going to go get one. Sold out to Lowdown Radio. Shawn, you're the best. Thank you. Thank everyone.
That's right. Don't forget to pay the lady.
There you go, folks. Well, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it.
God bless you. Thank you. Thanks for being a fan.
All right. I'll talk to you guys later.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Dan and Laura Dotson from the hit TV show Storage Wars. And when we come back, we're going to go ahead and wrap up today's show and going to go ahead and let you know who next week's guest is. Again, this is Shawn from Lowdown Radio.
For all your hair cutting and shaving needs, contact Bada Bing Barber Shop, located at 6446 Paramount Boulevard, Long Beach, California, 90805. Some of their services include shampoos, regular cuts, fades, line-up, and full-service shaves. To make an appointment, call Tony at 562-984-2233 and let him know Lowdown Radio sent you for a very exclusive discount.
gentlemen, welcome back to Lowdown Radio again, only on Unlimited Radio 247.net. And man, what an awesome show that was, having Dan and Laura on our show. What a great couple, meeting at an actual storage unit. That's unbelievable. See everyone, you guys can never know when you're going to find your true love, and obviously they love the business and they love each other, so that's really, really cool. Well, ladies and gentlemen, next week we're going to go ahead and get back in the world of professional wrestling. We're going to have the one and only from Ring of Honor, Mr. Michael Elgin. We're going to be having him on our show, and we're going to be discussing Ring of Honor and Michael's wrestling career. Also, on October 1st, we're going to be bringing back one of our former guests. He is formerly from TNA. Recently, he has been released from TNA, and he is arguably one of the greatest tag team professional wrestlers ever to grace the ring, and that is the one and only Mr. Devon Dudley. We're going to have him on October 1st. Both shows on the 24th of this month and October 1st will be at 6 p.m. Also, we're going to be having indie superstar Savannah Riley. We're going to be having her on our show, and we're going to be talking a little bit about her wrestling career, how she started in the business, and a little bit about her as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Lowdown Radio Show, only on Unlimited Radio 247.net. And, of course, make sure you check out Under the Mat with Paloma, with the lovely Paloma. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. And remember, make sure you tune in every Monday night. Thank you very much, and have a fantastic evening.
I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. I feel it. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a
Geico presents sharing versus oversharing. Earlier this week, Claire Tippins shared a princess nickname generator, 3 pictures of her dog wearing a tutu, and 2 online quizzes, including, what candy is your dream castle made of? Claire, your sharing has tipped the sugar scale and turned into oversharing. But have no fear, princess. Geico has something worth sharing with your internet kingdom, like how you could save hundreds on your car insurance just by visiting geico.com. No magic wand required. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.